So, hello everyone and welcome to today's worship, which is a celebration of good work, which means that we've been able to look through some of the seesaw work that's been happening, and the teachers have chosen some of their favourite pieces to share with you today. Let's start with these words that start our worship. So, wherever you are, peace be with you, and also with you. We light our candle to remind us that God is with us and his light shines on us. Right everyone, let's get straight on some good work. We're going to start from the Airedale Bishopdale bubble with a wonderful picture and a piece of writing from Emma. And if you look closely, you'll see that it's a monster, but it's a very special monster. It's the Loch Ness Monster that Emma's drawn. I think the Loch Ness Monster's smiling. And next to it, we've got some lovely writing from her, which says that I saw Nessie on the beach, and she is big and green. What a fantastic piece of writing, and what a wonderful drawing. So well done to you, Emma. Some more from Airedale and Bishopdale. Lily has shown us a picture of her enjoying a very special feast. She's eaten some haggis to celebrate Burns Night. How delicious. Whereas Molly's been doing some maths with rice. She's been making her cups. A cup full, a cup nearly empty, a cup nearly full, and a cup half full and half empty. So actually, there's some maths going on there, isn't there? Well done, Molly, and I hope you enjoyed your haggis, Lily. Another monster of a different kind is a dragon. And Ribblesdale and Dentdale Bubble have been having some great fun both at home and at school, making their own dragons. What a clever idea. Something that anyone could do. What they had to do was trying to create a dragon out of what they could find at home. And here are the first two, Amber and Evie. For a start, they're a fantastic pair of dragons, but can you see what they've used? I'm sure I can see some tins and a scarf. I can see an apple for an eye. And on another one, I'm sure I can see some combs for teeth and some wonderful peacock feathers making wings. Absolutely outstanding dragons. Brilliant work, Amber and Evie. And we've got some more to show you. So Talia, well, she's made her dragon as well. And you can see Talia smiling back up at us. And it's a fantastic dragon. I love the colour of the rainbow scales on the back. What a great piece of work. And Ellie, well, Ellie's written about her dragon. And it's a fantastic piece of writing with some lovely cursive handwriting. So well done to you, Ellie and Talia. Now then, you weren't expecting me to be changed like this, were you? But I'm back at school, and I'm back at school to be able to show you a couple of videos. And the first one is a film that's been made by Jasper Price. Now, Jasper was listening to the story we told about Jesus and his disciples on the Sea of Galilee when the storm came up. And he's made the most wonderful video story using Lego. So you can enjoy it by watching it now.
This is Jesus. Oh! One day, Jesus was teaching a crowd of people. He was getting a bit too tired, so he said to his disciples, "Let's go over to the other side of the sea." They were sailing to the other side of the sea, and Jesus was asleep. Suddenly, a storm blew up. Ah! Help us! We're gonna drown! They went to Jesus and shouted, "Wake up! Wake up! There's a storm!" And Jesus was asleep. Jesus woke up and told the storm to stop and be quiet. The disciples were amazed and said, "Who is this guy?" to each other. They needed more faith in God. The end.
Wow, Jasper, that was absolutely amazing. I particularly like the sound effects of the storm and the seagulls at the end. And I think the story was always improved by the use of a Lego shark. So well done, Jasper. I really enjoyed that. So on we go, and we've got as far as Nidderdale and Swaledale. And the first good piece of work from Nidderdale and Swaledale comes from Julie. And Julie has been doing some wonderful writing, but I particularly want you to look at the speech marks or the inverted commas. If you look all the way through, Julie's remembered that every time someone speaks, she's placed those words inside those speech marks. Have a good look. Ted said, "I like aliens." Sam said, "I don't like aliens because they scare me." And in every case, the speech marks are absolutely perfect, so well done to you, Julie. Now, the next piece of work to show you is another Lego video. This isn't a Bible story. This is a story about some of the teachers in our school. In fact, I believe I feature myself. I know I do because I've seen it and I think it's wonderful. And it's down to Daniel in Nidderdale and Swaledale Bubble. So here we go, the story of what happens when Mrs. Saunderson decides to run a fun run.
Today, Mrs. Saunderson has gathered some of the teachers together in the playground. Here we have Mrs. Simpson, Mr. Starkey, Mr. Simmons, Mrs. Saunderson, Mrs. Wake, and Kira.
Today, everyone, the pupils have asked if we can help towards the Tokyo Miles. Mrs. Sim, why are you dressed as a banana? Well, I thought it was a fun ride. Off I go. Whee! Mr. Starkey, why are you in a car? I just spoke about a car. Beep. Off I go. Mr. Simmons, why aren't you running? I thought of a fab worship for the children. Is there any tea and biscuits? No tea and biscuits. There's no biscuits in Kira won't run. And there's two of us that were doing double the miles. No biscuits, and I'm not sure we can count dog miles. Let's go inside so Mrs. Grizel can count our miles.
And with that, the teachers went inside to hunt down some well-earned biscuits.
Has anybody seen Mrs. Sims?
Well, Daniel, how on earth did you know that I get so excited about my worship times and that Mrs. Simpson has a banana costume that she runs in? If anyone else has got any more of those wonderful videos that they post on our Seesaw site, we might be able to show another one next week. Well done, Daniel. Now then, Cameron from the Nidderdale and Swaledale bubble, well, he's been using a different type of bubble, a speech bubble, a way of showing someone speaking when you've drawn a picture or there is a picture of them. And the story he chose to tell with his speech bubble, well, the two Greek myths. I wonder if you know who they are. The one above me is Icarus, the boy who flew too near the sun, with his wings made of feathers and wax. The other one is the story of Theseus and the Minotaur. A Minotaur is another type of monster, a monster with the head of a huge bull. And the story is of how Theseus went into the maze to find that Minotaur. Great stories, great speech bubbles. Well done, Cameron. Now then, Coverdale have been reading a story, a very famous story about a different type of monster, but this one came from outer space. It's a story of from H.G. Wells, and it tells the story of a war on this world, a made-up war when aliens land. Now, both Ella and Eli had to write a piece of that story themselves, and they've done a fantastic job, which is why their work was chosen by Mrs. Stiles and Mrs. Grizel. The first one is by Ella, and I'm going to read a little bit of it to you now. We approach a group of humans, but they keep scrambling away. They are small and hide easily, but our weapons can destroy anything, even a piece of iron. Humans are weak and fleshy beings that are easy to squish. They are like vermin on this planet, taking its resources and polluting it. Some humans hid in a river, but our spider legs can easily maneuver through the water. Can you see it's written in the form of the alien telling their own story? And Ellie used some wonderful language there. I'm looking forward to reading Eli's. And here it is. Eli says this: "We have landed on this confusing planet, so-called Earth. The creatures that inhabit this land are slightly different to each other, but are all extremely ugly, unlike my fellow brethren, who are like perfect clones of each other. These aliens live in boxes above ground, whereas we live in comfortable burrows far underneath the dry, dusty red ground. The aliens have come from Mars, which is a bright red planet." Eli and Ella, they are two fantastic pieces of writing that I think H.G. Wells himself would have been impressed with, so well done to you. We're going to look at some maths first of all from Wharfdale and Wensleydale, and I've chosen Chloe and Lily's, but actually there were lots. What the children had to do was to find different types of angles. Do you know their names? Well, there's a right angle, there's an obtuse angle, and there's an acute angle. And if you look closely, you should be able to see the different colours they've used. Blue is for the right angle, that's 90 degrees. Red is for the obtuse angle, which is greater than 180. And green, well, green must be for the acute angle, which is less than 90 degrees. And as far as I can see, both Chloe and Lily and lots of other people from Wharfdale and Wensleydale got it right, so well done to you. And finally, I've chosen Tabitha's cedar plate. Now, a cedar plate is used by people who are Jewish, and it's used to celebrate the Passover festival. On the cedar plate, they place some very symbolic foods. Not the ordinary sort of foods that you would eat at an ordinary meal, but foods that remind them of a very special story. A story of how they escaped from Egypt as a people hundreds of years ago. What Tabitha's done really well is identify the different foods and write about them. If you've done the same thing in Wharfdale and Wensleydale, well done. It's a really interesting story, and it's been beautifully done by Tabitha there. So, that's all of our work for this week. If you didn't get to see your piece of work, don't worry, we might be showing it next week. Just keep sending them in. Let's stop for a minute and share a prayer. Dear God, thank you for the friendly people in our school and the wonderful environment where we learn and play. We're sorry if we have not shown each other respect or if we've not always been honest. Please help us to keep safe and to try our best in everything we do. We love our school. Amen. And Jaden in Wensleydale, I hope that was slow enough. So let's end our worship with these words. May the light of God shine from us and the peace of God be with us always. Amen. We go into the world to walk in God's light, to rejoice in God's love and to reflect God's glory. Amen. Now it's still very much winter and there's lots of cold, wintry weather around. But in my garden, the first of the spring bulbs have started to appear. So I thought for our reflection today, you'd be able to follow that link and see some music and some spring flowers that we'll be looking forward to seeing very soon. So, until the next time we have our worship time, goodbye everyone.